Aquarius. Welcome to Eight of Cups Tarot. Welcome to your cards for August. So we're just getting off of a full moon in Aquarius. It's Leo season, highlighting your 7th house of relationships. And the full moon made this pretty intense square over to Uranus and Taurus in your 4th house. So chances are you're going through some changes. Chances are you're feeling some pressure. Okay, we're all dealing with pressure from the universe. I don't know if you guys remember a little bit back, but I explained that July was this really interesting month because there was going to be a short window during Leo season where we could really create some momentum in our lives. And the thing is, in August, all of that Mars energy, that push, the drive, the ambition, the force to make changes in our lives, smacks right up into a square with our Capricorn cluster of planets, Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn. This is when things start to get intense. This is when the changes that maybe we've been putting off, the things we've been procrastinating on, there's areas in our life that are going to kind of bite a little bit. There will be delays. There will be setbacks. There will be more transformations, more changes. These themes are not going to ease up in the slightest until we reach November or December. And I also want to remind everybody that although personal planets are moving forward for all of the month, meaning Mercury, Venus, and Mars are still making new territory, progress moving forward. Mars is slowing down. He begins a retrograde phase in September. But the outer planets, which will begin to move direct in September and October, are still retrograde. We're kind of in this period of karma. There's a return on our investments. Now, let's take a look at these cards because we're going to get into that a little bit deeper. Starting out, your overall energy is that of the Hierophant. So one thing is for certain, you are entering a brand new journey. I like to express my Hierophant card, especially when it comes out in this energy, as your faith is being tested. There's more things to learn about yourself. You're becoming stronger. You're beginning to understand in the Hierophant energy the way the universe works. That's that give and take, the push and pull. It's you have to understand yourself, your thoughts, your emotions a little bit clearer so that you could proceed. So the Hierophant can sometimes be an energy of stubbornness. And that's what I was talking about with those squares. As Mars starts to make those squares over to those outer planets, which is beginning already early in August, there's delays. And these things will test your faith. They will ask how strong your commitment is to the directions that you've chose. It also allows new commitment energy to come in. What do you want to commit to now? Because we're all going through this immense transformation. So the things that we thought we would commit to a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, these things might be changing now as we're changing. Our vibration is changing. And so things will fall away from us, and then we will begin to attract new things that reflect the new vibration that we're in. The Hierophant says to have faith. Have faith in the bigger picture. If things are looking like they're not working out right now, the best thing that you could do is understand that whether it's easy or not, whether it's what you wanted or not, it's here to serve you in a higher purpose. It's here to set you on a different path. And there's protection with the Hierophant. Now that's Taurus energy. And as I just said, we came off of this full moon in your sign, whether it's aspecting your sun, your moon, your Venus, you know, it's still making a square to that major planet. And ultimately, anything involving Uranus is freeing us from something. There's freedom being sought, whether you know it or not, whether it's in your conscious mind or whether things are starting to unfold on a subconscious level. You know, it's a need to be free from burdens, from weight, from things that tie us down. Now, the first two cards coming out next to that Hierophant is the Three of Swords and the Six of Cups. Clearly, there is something that has hurt you. There is a heartbreak for sure, a disappointment. And the Six of Cups tells me it's a pretty deep cut. It's a pretty deep wound. It's definitely a hurt that is felt. This is not, you know, if this is a relationship that recently has come to an end, if this is, or you're starting to see it needs to come to an end, it's not an easy journey. My Six of Cups card, which seems to be coming out quite often this month because now Venus is moving direct. She's out of that square with Neptune, meaning we're seeing things clear. If you're in a relationship, if you're in a job that doesn't suit you well at this time, the universe is going to do the things it needs to do in order to help you release it. If you're in a relationship with somebody and it's not working out, maybe Six of Cups can oftentimes be where we put people up on a pedestal, where we idealize people. It could represent soulmates, meaning that maybe you're walking away from a soulmate relationship. It could also represent children, if you're dealing with the loss of a child. It could represent a dream. It could represent the dream job, some kind of fantasy that we build in our mind. And the Six of Cups energy also represents innocence. It represents purity and simplicity. It's love, but it's unconditional love. It's not so much about the romantic, passionate, commitment kind of love. It's more like the love of a child, the love of a sibling, or it could simply mean an experience in your life that was meant to be here at this time. It was meant to teach you something. It is a karmic lesson because Six of Cups is a karmic energy. Now that Three of Swords is coming out on top of your first moon card. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn. So definitely could represent the end of a job. Maybe it's a job in which you've had to exert a lot of energy. Things have not been easy. It could also represent a relationship. where things were not easy. Capricorn energy is kind of where you really sink your teeth into things. You really try. There's a lot of ambition and drive. And so full moon in Capricorn can kind of feel like we've invested so much into something. We've wanted to see it through, to see it move to the next level. And sometimes it doesn't work out. Underneath that Six of Cups is the first of several 5 cards. Rhino Spirit. Card number 50, breaking down to a 5. Overcome any obstacle. Six of Cups and the Rhino Spirit is definitely, again, I'm picking up on a karmic energy. Something had to end. Something had to change in the connection between two things. Yourself and a job, yourself and a relationship, yourself and a dream that you had for your life, a certain expectation that you had. And now is a time where it seems like no matter how hard you push, it just simply won't happen. It could be an energy where others are not cooperating. You know, if I'm picking up on the loss of a child, it could be so much as your body is not cooperating. Maybe you're having a hard time conceiving. Maybe there is a suffering or a miscarriage. Rhino Spirit means as hard as the experience is that you're going through at this time, the idea is to stay flexible, to find your way around these obstacles, that there are alternatives, right? Picking up on that Uranus sort of energy. There's simply a different path you're meant to go on at this time. So if you're hoping, maybe you were in a situation where you were hoping to get married, advance a relationship, you know, have the babies, and then something happens to make you realize this particular dream is not going to come true. Maybe it's just with this particular person, or maybe it's with this particular circumstance that just isn't going to work out at this time. Your energy is needed elsewhere. Okay, so the next series of cards we have, which is the current energies, because I feel like this is something that has just recently happened, maybe in the past month or so, maybe as recent as the full moon, which was, 2 days ago. The energy you're in now is the Five of Cups, another card of 5. The 5s always tell me that there's a little bit of discord and chaos. Now the 5 of Cups comes out next to the 2 of Swords. 5 of Cups is definitely an energy of disappointment. It can be guilt. It could be shame. It could just be a sense of loss. And it's kind of where you're investing your energy and looking at the things that have fallen away, the thing that you lost. You may be spending a lot of time focusing on, if it is a relationship, how could this have not worked out? I've put all of my time, all of my love, all of my energy, all of my expectations here, and look at all that I've lost. If this particular thing doesn't work out, it means that all of this was a waste of time, a waste of energy. The 2 of Swords is a reminder that that is a choice. You could stay in that energy of loss and regret and anxiety, and the 5 of Cups oftentimes talks about where we get a little bit lost in escapism, especially next to the 6 of Cups. If there has been overindulgence, if there has been your way of coping is by numbing. it may not be the healthiest choice right now. There are better ways to deal with the disappointment. There are more productive ways. Now, if you're going through a really hard time, if there was a major loss of a job, loss of a child, loss of a relationship, you know, and I mean, this could just be a change of life because kids are going off to college. It doesn't have to necessarily be this heavy. Remember, it's a general reading, so it's going to be a little bit different for all of you. But the Five of Cups is an energy of sadness, of stagnation, and oftentimes exhaustion. And the Two of Swords means you have a choice. You could change your perspective. If you look, Two of Swords, she's blindfolded, right? She seems kind of zen because in a time where things are so chaotic, this is when we kind of turn down the noise and we seek inner wisdom. Now, maybe there is a decision that you have to make. Maybe there's a decision, do I want to try this again? Do I want to give this relationship another try, another chance? Do I want to try to have another baby? Do I want to stay at this job? The Two of Swords means that there's a lot of things that maybe we don't know yet. We don't have the details. So we're asked to go within. We're asked to make these decisions through our intuition. Facts may not be available, but there is higher guidance. There is wisdom. And the Five of Cups is a choice between looking at what we've lost or turning around and seeing that all is not lost. There's still two full cups here. There's still love. There's still hope. All is not lost. Underneath these two cards, you pull the Guardian Angel card. You pulled the Angel of Positivity, 25 breaking down to a 7, which is Divine Wisdom. Do not ignore the premonitions that you're having right now, the signs that are coming forward to you. Support from the universe. It could be support, through friends, through other people. It could be, if it's a medical situation, there could be new doctors, new medical advice, new advancements that can be found. Angel of Positivity is a reminder that your expectations are fuel for what is to come. So if you are in that Five of Cups energy where nothing works out, you're ready to give up, then that's sort of what you're going to get from this situation. If you are willing to flip the script, to rewrite the story, to frame it in a more positive way, if you're in a bad relationship that ends, instead of saying, oh, I've wasted 5 years of my life and I didn't get anywhere and all I got was heartbreak. Sure, that's one way to look at the story. But when we go through tough experiences, we learn so much about ourselves. We learn so much about how the universe works. And sometimes the bad stuff is an opportunity to learn so that we don't make the same mistakes. It's an opportunity to view things from a different perspective and to understand that maybe the timing wasn't right Maybe the universe put an end to this relationship because this wasn't really the one. Maybe this ended because you were being saved from something, because there's something better for you. See, you have the choice to switch between, I'm going to stay sad and think about all the things that I lost, or the energy of, there's freedom here. There's freedom for me to dig into different things, to make myself happy, to do the things I couldn't do because of the other situations. There's freedom. And with freedom, we make space and we invite in new opportunities. Your energy is really important this month. The choices that you make for yourself are really important this month. Your challenge card is going to be the Hanged Man. This is the energy of indecision. Now, you just pulled that card, the Two of Swords, meaning there's a decision that has to be made. The advice card is to not stay in a period of indecision. Now is definitely a time to make important choices. Underneath the Hanged Man, you got Wombat Spirit, card number 68. Be at home. The choice might be to withdraw. Withdraw your energy from the situation. Withdraw your expectations from the situation. To know that you can't force other people or other things to happen. There are certain things in our lives that we don't have power over. We can't force somebody to be with us. We can't force our bodies to cooperate. We can't force having children. We can't force getting that job. We can't force people believing in us. Oftentimes, when we have blocks like that, it's reflective of what we have going on inside. So if you're in a relationship and this person is refusing to move this to the next level, if they can't invest as much love as you can invest into them, it might be a reflection of how much love you're willing to give yourself. This could all be a lesson in self-love, a lesson in knowing yourself. And be at home is about being comfortable in your own skin. It's about being who you are. If you're in relationships where you can't be yourself, you feel like you have to wear a mask, there's pressure for you to be or play a certain role, it's probably not healthy energy. And the universe is directing you away from that. Be at home also means to allow others to nurture you. Maybe, Aquarius, you need a break. You need some rest. I keep picking up on, maybe it's just one or two of you out there, but if this is in regards to having children and starting a family of your own, maybe take a break from it for a little bit. Allow the universe to kind of do its thing while you rest and rejuvenate. Seek a little bit of stability and solace and quiet, that Two of Swords, that quiet place where you can make really good decisions for yourself because you're taking the time to listen to yourself. It's still Leo season for most of August. Our hearts need to be heard. We have to open our hearts. We have to be ourselves at this time. You seem to have been through a lot. And so there is nothing wrong with the idea of kind of crawling back in bed, throwing the covers over our head and resting. You don't need to change the world at this time. It's more about going within. Your advice from Spirit is the Four of Pentacles. I find this interesting because the beginning of the reading and the end of the reading both end in cards representing Earth, representing finances, representing our stability. And the Four of Pentacles in the advice position there may be blocks that you're working out this month. That does not mean that you should push. Now, a Taurus energy can push. It could kind of bulldoze its way through things. The Four of Pentacles is simply an energy of hold on. In terms of finances, watch your spending. It might be a great month to kind of pull back, especially if you're starting to realize you have to leave a job, or if it's a financial thing that's not working out. Now might be a good time to kind of tighten the belt, cut the expenses. You know, Leo season can be kind of that time where we want to go out and spend money on new clothes, redecorating our house, getting our hair done. But the advice from Spirit is just focus on your stability. Make sure that there is enough. Now, the Four of Pentacles comes out under a new moon in Scorpio. Work through your fears. If you are having fears about finances, that could also be some of the blocks that you're dealing with. If you were in a relationship because it represented some form of stability for you, now is probably a time where you have to create that stability on your own. There could just be unresolved fears that you're not even aware of now, that you're given the opportunity to work through. You know, if you're trying and trying and trying to have a baby and things aren't working out, maybe there's some fears you have to work out within yourself. And once you do that, you know, I feel like the window's open. I feel like the doors open, the opportunities come in. And it's just like this one chance where we get to kind of transform our thought processes, transform our beliefs. Remember, we're stepping into a more positive atmosphere. The more positive you can remain throughout the chaos, the more faith that you could have in the universe, that sometimes things come to an end because better things are coming in. Sometimes things aren't quite ready to happen yet because you're not quite ready yet. And that's okay. That's okay. You're on your own divine timing. There's a path that's being cleared for you. And right now is a time to honor yourself until you get there. It's inner work. It's inner transformation so that those things can become a real part of your life, so that those relationships that aren't filled with fears of commitment can flow to you, so that, you know, the baby can come, so that the new jobs can come in. We're removing blocks from ourselves. Your oracle card for August. When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. Guys, I don't know how many different ways that this can be expressed this month, but your positivity is crucial. Your perspective on the situation is crucial. You have to have gratitude even when things don't work out. You will find your faith in August, because in September, you'll see the picture much clearer. You know, I mean, if this is like, this is just an example, not specific to these cards, but if a relationship isn't working out now, maybe in September or October, you'll start to find a piece of information that makes you say, oh my God, thank God I'm not still dating them. Or, oh my God, I didn't even know that about them. I could have never put up with that. You'll start to see that the universe is working with you. As long as you believe in it, as long as you trust it, as long as you're not stuck in elements of anger, regret, resentment, you have to find the ability to forgive and forget and move forward with your life, because above all else, we're moving forward. I also pulled some new cards that I got. Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. These are really beautiful cards, and I pulled 3 of them for you in lieu of pulling the romance cards. And I don't know, I just kind of instinctively thought these might be a better message for my Aquarius. Card number 14, yet another card breaking down to that 5 energy. Chaos, instability, inner conflict, stress. Truth be told, I love this card. I love this card because if you look closely, the window is open and things are flying out of the window, right? There's an opening here. There's an opening so you could see something so much clearer. Truth be told is an energy where the truth comes out. If this is in regards to a relationship that didn't work out, you will see clearly why it didn't work out. You will understand why things can't happen now. Truth be told is also another representation of that needing to be comfortable with yourself, needing to be authentic and true to yourself. So you can't be somebody you're not in order to stay in a relationship. You have to really look at the things that you want in your life. You know, maybe your entire life you've had the goal to have children, and yet obstacle after obstacle came in and the children thing wasn't happening. Maybe if you dig deep, you realize that that was other people's dreams for you. Maybe that was your partner's dream. Maybe it's not working out because there's other opportunities you're meant to take in this lifetime. You know, it's not always about the status quo. Aquarius, you know that. You know that you're always a little different, that you like the unusual, and you also like your freedom. And so maybe there's something in you deep down that says, maybe this didn't work out because this isn't even something that I really want. Or maybe it's just not something I really want right now. And that's okay. That is also okay. It could always be revisited down the line. You can always come back to it. But maybe when we keep hitting this wall, this resistance, the idea is to be flexible and move around it. To see what the other directions are going. To see what's down those other roads that you weren't looking at because you were so focused on this one thing that wasn't working out. Second card, exchanging gifts, card number 27. This is about reciprocity. This is about the give and take. This is about the return on the investment. if you weren't putting your all into a situation, a job, a relationship, whatever it is, if you weren't really putting all of your energy into it, then you're just simply getting back what you put into it, right? If you weren't invested the way you should have been, then it's just simply, it's not going to come back to you in that way. Now, if it's a situation that you poured everything into, which is what I'm seeing with that Six of Cups, if this was really this dream and you've really tried everything, exhausted everything, given your all to this, have faith, because the energy you put into this will be returned to you. It may not be in this particular situation that you wanted. So maybe you did a lot of work on yourself in order to stay in a relationship, and that relationship still fell apart. That person still disappointed you. It just means that when the next thing comes in, that will be the reward for the work you've done in this situation. We're still, in a lot of ways, being forced to allow the divine to show us a better way. Exchanging gifts is where there is balance being restored. And your final card, number 24, time for a nap. Time for a nap. Taking a break from the pressure. If you're losing a job and you have the finances available to take a few months off, by all means do it. If you're struggling to conceive a child and things aren't working out, give it a rest. If you're in a relationship that just seems to not be advancing or working out, if you're arguing all the time over everything, take a step back. Go home. You know, if that means quite literally packing a bag and maybe going to a friend's house for a little while, or moving back in with your parents and just allowing others to take care of you, nurturing yourself, it doesn't have to be the ultimate end. It doesn't mean that a new love relationship or a new opportunity won't appear. But we get to take a break from ramming that same wall over and over again just to find out it's not going to break down. It's time for a nap. It's time for a rest, Aquarius. Let yourself rest, because that's where the creativity comes from. When you rejuvenate your mind and your heart and your soul and you take care of yourself, the new things just flow in. New opportunities, new pathways. It's all really beautiful, but now's a pause. All right, Aquarius. If you're still with me, please remember to hit a like button, subscribe, share with your friends. The channel is growing. I'm really proud of it, and it helps me to get the messages out to more people. As always, I really love our time together, and I love you, and I hope it's a wonderful August. I'll see you in September. Bye.